Yeah, so I think I'm going to finally talk about The Acolyte, but more importantly, I want to talk about Leslye Headland, who's the creator and executive producer on it. The Acolyte is getting absolutely eviscerated, and I'm not even sure I've seen the trailer, and that's because it doesn't appeal to me at all. Most of the Disney stuff doesn't. That's fine. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I am a huge fan of Leslye Headland, though. She did Bachelorette. She wrote and directed Bachelorette at the same time that Bridesmaids came out, and I think Bachelorette is a better movie in every way compared to Bridesmaids. But it was an indie R-rated comedy. Leslye Kaplan, James Marsden, I forget who else is in it. Anyway, I really like Bachelorette. Then she did Sleeping with Other People, which has Alison Brie and Jason Sudeikis in it. Really like that. Again, it's a hard R, doing it comedy. Yes. And then the thing that I think sort of got her into the position she is in today is she wrote, directed, and executive produced because she created Russian Doll. And I think the first season of Russian Doll may be as close to a perfect 10-episode or 8-episode series as I've ever seen. The second season wasn't quite as good, but the first season was absolutely astounding. It was perfect. This leads me all into The Acolyte, which, by every measure, is just a piece of shit. So I won't know, really, because I'm never going to watch it, because it holds the minimum amount of interest to me compared to, the pantheon of Star Wars stuff that also holds basically no interest to me, because, I don't know, the last Star Wars I liked was Rogue One. But I really liked Rogue One. I just think it's a little interesting that Leslye Headland, it's a weird pick. Like, I understand, from the creator point of view, I understand why she would do a Star Wars, because it's big money. It's big money, and if it goes well, it's big everything else. The trade-off is usually when you're working in, the studio system proper, if it's big money, it's also big people looking over your shoulder. And in the case of Disney, there's a million theories as to why Disney and Star Wars is doing what it's doing, but it seems like there is a bit of a company line being motivated onto its productions. I don't know. I don't work at Disney. I certainly haven't worked on any of those Disney shows. I certainly haven't been in the writer's room. But as a fan of Leslye Headland, I give her a pass. When I found out she was, show running, creating, directing, I think, but definitely writing The Acolyte, did I think it was going to be good? No, because I'm not an idiot. I know how Disney and Star Wars has been lately. So no, I didn't think it was going to be good, but I did recognize that Leslye Headland, she's awesome. She's really good at what she does, which is R-rated, doing it comedies about 20-somethings and 30-somethings being messy, which I think that's her wheelhouse. So it's a little confusing to me that she would be brought on to do a Disney project, because Disney has very specific ideologies, and they're not comfortable with doing it stuff. They're really not comfortable with hard R stuff, R-rated stuff. And so, I don't know. I'm torn, but it's also a thing, like, I learned a long time ago, I forget which, it must have been a professor who told me this. He's like, you take this show. Everybody loves it. The writing is great. It wins awards. You take this show. A different group of people love it. The writing is not considered very good. It will never win an award. Everybody knows this show is known for its writing, and this show is known for not its writing. But if you actually look at it, a lot of times writers on this show will go over here, and a lot of writers on this show will go over here. Because usually the quality of the writing doesn't have so much to do with the quality of the writing so much it does the studio or the network, and specifically the tone of the show, the quality of the writing when the script was made, and sort of how the showrunner runs the show. I know that's a really weird, convoluted thing to sort of describe, but basically what I'm saying is there's good writers in bad rooms, there's bad writers in good rooms sometimes, but there tends to be a lot of good writers working, because I don't know. You can get into sort of the social politics of it right now, which is to say maybe the argument is less qualified people are writing on shows. I'm not interested in that side of the argument at all, because I don't think it's useful, even if it is true or not true. But Leslye Headland is an example of an established indie R-rated comedy writer-director. She's a force to be reckoned with. She's as close to as an American auteur as we can get, but her niche isn't Disney Star Wars. It's messy girls in their late 20s or early 30s, and it's usually movies, but Russian Doll obviously was a TV show, if you can call it that. So why, for instance, Russian Doll is incredible, creative, brilliant, experimental, known for its incredible writing, known for its beautiful world, all this kind of stuff, and The Acolyte seems to be none of that. Well, it could be Leslye Headland. It could be that Disney said, here's the deal, You've established yourself, Leslye Headland. Now go make the thing you want. I don't necessarily buy into that just because her track record is pretty astonishingly consistent, and this really seems to be her only miss. She's produced Bachelorette, Sleeping with Other People, Cleansed, which I've never heard of, but it's not got a very big score. The Heathers TV show, which is not for me. Almost Family, Pink and Blue, Russian Doll, Single Drunk Female, which has a huge audience that I can't get into, and then The Acolyte. So that's what she produced. She's written on basically all those things, and she's directed basically all those things, including Smilf, Blunt Talk, and let's see. Yeah, so she's got like a conservatively above average record, and then the black mark on her report card is going to be The Acolyte. You know, at the risk of giving her credit where credit is maybe not due, because I don't know this person. I've seen her in person many times, but you know, I'm a cautious fan of Leslye Headland. Do I think The Acolyte, you know, should fall on her shoulders? Yeah, she's a showrunner. Do I think it's her fault that it's so god-awful? I don't know. Given the fact that if you follow the pattern of Disney Star Wars, and those things are all, with really specific exceptions, just a little bit worse every time, and the Marvel stuff for the same reason, I don't know. I don't know. I think there's an argument to be made that studio interference, or too many cooks in the kitchen, or any other, you know, cool phrase is the reason The Acolyte is the way it is. I don't know. Maybe it's some combination. Maybe it's a combination of the bad oversight by Disney and giving Leslye Headland and her creative team too much rope to hang themselves with. We may never know. I just find it crazy because Leslye Headland is one of the few, you know, writer-directors that are American that I follow that I expect to do really great work. Just in the rest of the group, I would say Rian Johnson, who, for what it's worth, did have a miss with one of the Star Warses. Simon Pegg, Edgar Wright, which are British, obviously. So yeah, so she's in this group of people in my head that I know the overall quality of whatever I'm going to see from them is good, and so the fact that The Acolyte is just dog shit, it gives me pause, and it makes me wonder how much control Leslye Headland had, because she does seem to me, again, anecdotally and with no real insight, to be one of those creative people who not only can she do it all, but she does it her way, in her tone, in her world. And so what stopped The Acolyte from continuing that? I think it's Disney. So I don't know. I feel bad for Leslye Headland and the writing team, because they're going to get eviscerated. But by the time this is out, maybe they're already on other projects anyway, and maybe they'll get redemption. Who knows? But yeah, it kind of just made me a little sad to know that Leslye Headland, a person I consider to be sort of an indirect mentor, or a person who I consider to be the contemporary, you know, writer-director, the contemporary double threat or triple threat, the contemporary auteur, American auteur, gets absolutely stomped because of a Disney Marvel movie, Disney Star Wars movie, show. I don't even know what it's called. Disney Star Wars show. So, yeah, sucks, but she's cashing the paycheck. Hopefully off the strength of having gotten the project, maybe she'll get to go on to something else. But yeah, you know, sucks, because it could be a career ender. If I were her, again, given the total no information that I have, I would use this as an opportunity to get away, reestablish, maybe start working on another movie if there isn't one in the pipes already, coming down the pike. Make another R-rated comedy. They're hard to come out now, unless you're Deadpool, but she's established at doing that. So, you know, maybe Blumhouse will give her an R-rated comedy for a low rate or something. I don't know. That's what it is. Yeah, sucks to see somebody you look up to suck. Yeah, that's what it is. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you next time.